every year, thousands of computers suffer the same fate. They get discarded and thrown inside of a closet or in a garage or wherever you keep that sock. You know what sock I'm talking about. I'm looking at you. And was that the fate of this system right here? Was it left for dead, shoved in a corner with a thin coat of dust on it? Well, I don't know. I don't know everything about the PCs that I buy, but I can tell you that this PC was bought off Facebook Marketplace. So on screen right now, right here, are photos of the listing for this PC. And as you can see from the photos, it doesn't really do a very good job of conveying what items are inside of the system, other than the obvious things that you can see, like the 750 watt power supply, the motherboard, the CPU cooler. Now, that doesn't tell me what CPU is behind the CPU cooler, and if you go to the description that the gentleman did put for this PC, you can see that he was more worried about the power cord than he was about telling you what specs were in this system. Now, he wanted $150 for that system. I'm not gonna pay $150 for this, so I offered him $80 and he accepted it, and I took a gamble. I took a gamble on what CPU was behind here, what if this even worked, and the gamble paid off because it is a Z370 motherboard, and for the CPU, we do have a Intel i5 8600K. It's not the strongest CPU that exists, but definitely better than, like, say, a Celeron processor. So I picked this system up because I figured it'd be a great addition to our PC Build Up Challenge series, because we did sell our last PC and now we have $693 in our bank to build the gaming PC that we're gonna give away to you. So we need to spend a little bit of that money on this thing right here so that we can, you know, make some money off this system so that we can get to building your system just a little bit faster. Now, I would love to make a decent amount of money from this system, and in order to do that, we're gonna have to change a few things, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think that in its current state, we're gonna be able to make like anything off of it. One, because there's no graphics card, so it wouldn't work anyways, and two, because there's no hard drive and it's dusty and it looks gross, and well, I mean, we just got a lot to do. So I picked up a few things, and now I'm gonna show them to you. Probably should have done one of those like really cool transitions. Maybe next time. I also need to get a bigger desk. Okay, so I'm gonna move this over so that I have a little bit of breathing room. There's no screws holding this on. So as you can see, I bought a few things for today's build, including the ugliest RAM that has ever been made. Be for real with me. Who signed off on the Warhawk RAM design? These things look insane, but you know what's not insane about this is the fact that it's only $30 and it has RGB. So, I mean, you're really getting a lot for the $30 it costs for this RAM, even though it looks ridiculous. And I know you're not paying attention to anything else other than the fact that there's a 3070 here. Now, I know that I said there's an Intel i5 8600K CPU in here, and this 3070 is pretty much the max that I would go with that CPU. Now, there won't be a bottleneck, but it'll be close. But the performance should still be fantastic. So we should be able to build a very strong gaming PC that can play pretty much anything, maybe other than Indiana Jones, but it can play pretty much anything. And we're gonna be able to make some money off this system, I'm positive of it. And for the rest of the things that we're putting inside of our system, I did pick up some cable extensions like always. I got 3 additional ARGB fans to throw inside of our case, a 1 terabyte NVMe, and the Okinos Cypress 5. Now, I built on this Cypress 7 like a couple weeks ago. It was a great PC case. This one comes in at around $60 and it includes 4 ARGB fans. That's really the reason I purchased this. This is not a sponsored video by Okinos, even though I've done a few from them in the past. I like their cases, so this should be a great building experience, and all of this will fit inside of here nicely, and I think it's gonna look really good in the end. Now, just like in every episode of the Build Up Challenge, once we are done putting the system together, we will benchmark it to see how well our system is performing, and then we're gonna go over how much we're gonna try and sell this system for, and where we stand in total funds to build your computer. But before we can do any of that, I have got to clean the parts inside of this system and put this whole thing together, and I can't wait to do that. So let's just go ahead and do that.
feel it.
Money, power, I'm
money, power, I'm weak,
I'm right big, but I'm big.
wanna feel it, rage, power, weakest, force, money, driven, major, fraud, breathless, body, diamond, bones, wanna be it, wanna feel it, rage, power, weakest, force, money, driven, major, fraud, breathless, body, diamond, bones, wanna be it, wanna feel it.
I think I need to explain the reason I didn't go with red LEDs inside of this build, because a lot of you probably noticed that the motherboard had red accents on it. Well, I have been noticing that anytime I do a black and red build, that build will sit on the market for the longest time, getting like really close to no attention. And I don't know if you guys are experiencing a similar thing, but anytime I try to list a black and red PC, nobody seems to want to buy it. Now, was white and purple the correct call? I don't know, probably not. I don't think that this is the best looking PC that I've ever made, but man, it definitely looks better than it did when I bought the original PC. Now, like I said earlier, this isn't a sponsored video, but I would like to weigh in on my thoughts on the Cypress 5 here for a second, because I did get sponsored to view their Cypress 7, and I really enjoyed that case. And this is obviously not the Cypress 7, it's the Cypress 5, and it's just a smaller version and it's cheaper. It's $60. You get 4 ARGB fans. You get this wood panel up in the front, even though it's just one strip of wood. I don't know if we could probably just do without having the wood, but I mean, I guess it adds a unique flair to a $60 case. But I do really enjoy the front panel here because it kind of looks like the fractal torrent. It gives you a pretty unique look for the super budget friendly PC cases. Now, you are limited on how much space you have for cable management in the back, but I've never had a like $50, $60 case that had exceptional cable management in the back. Now, one thing I do think that I would have loved to see is some kind of grommeting for this back hole here, because I don't like seeing all the cabling in there in the back there, but I mean, that's just being super picky on a super cheap PC case. Would I suggest getting a Cypress 5? I mean, if you're on a budget and you're looking for a standard PC case that looks pretty unique, then sure. Yeah, this is a decent entry-level PC case. Now, we've talked about how the system looks, but what really is gonna matter is how well this system performs, because this is an older Intel i5 8600K CPU, and we paired it with a 3070, so you would hope that the performance is pretty good. Well, the computer didn't disappoint. So like always, we tested 4 games on our system, and while the 3070 is a great card for 1440p, I did all my testings at 1080p. Starting off with a game that I have seen quite a few people streaming lately, which is called Delta Force. We're getting a great FPS average of 115 FPS. And honestly, I'm not sure why this game is so popular. I didn't enjoy it very much, but switching over to a game that I really do enjoy, God of War Ragnarok, we were getting an average of 88 FPS at ultra settings. In Space Marine 2 at max settings, we're getting a beautiful 83 FPS on average. And lastly, I jumped into Hogwarts Legacy with all the settings cranked all the way to max. We're getting an average of 93 FPS. Now there were a few takeaways from those benchmarks that I did want to address. The CPU and GPU usage was almost maxed out. We were pushing this system about as far as it's gonna go, but it was also playing some extremely intense games. I was playing some of the games that people with 4080s and 4070 Ti Supers play. So we were really pushing this system as far as we possibly could. And the other thing that I noticed was the GPU temperatures were pretty high. So this is a used card. I got it used, so I'll probably go ahead and take it apart. It looked extremely clean, but I'm gonna repaste it. We're gonna do a couple more tests a little off camera, just to make sure that the GPU stays at a decent temperature and doesn't thermal throttle itself. So now let's get down to what really matters, where we stand in total funds to build your PC. So let me grab my notes here real quick. All right, the original system, that dirty, dusty box that had no GPU, I bought it for $80. Now I spent $200 on the case, the fans, the cable extensions, the SSD, and I spent $290 on the 3070. Now typically I can get 3070s for a little bit better price, but unfortunately I was forced to get this GPU off eBay because none of the people selling graphics cards in my area were responding. It was very weird. I don't know if they'd already sold it and just didn't delete the listings, but regardless, I was able to get that card off eBay, and that brings the total price for this entire build to $570. Now, I'm thinking that the list price for this PC, I'm gonna start at $900. I don't feel like $900 is the price that I'm gonna get. I'll probably get maybe like $820, $840 for the system, but if we do even just get $800 for this system, I have $123 left over in our budget from our last build. So that'll put us close to $1,000. And this is only episode 6 of the Build Up Challenge. So in 6 PC flips, we've gone from a total of $0 in our bank to almost $1,000 in our bank, which I think is absolutely phenomenal. And it's getting us closer and closer and closer to building the computer that I want to build for you. And I've been weighing some design options for that PC, what I have in store. Now, if you are not subscribed to this channel, please consider doing that. It is actually 100% free to hit that subscribe button, and it does a world of good in helping this channel grow so that I can do more PC builds for you guys, and maybe one day make this my actual full-time job so I don't have to go in and, you know, be a baker anymore. And if you are a huge fan of the channel and you're looking for a way to support, I do have a YouTube membership program that you can join. There are some small perks, plus you get to watch the videos a little bit earlier than everyone else does, and all those funds go directly to supporting this channel and more builds and more fun content for you guys to enjoy. Now, obviously, you don't have to do any of those things because this content is free, and what really matters is that you guys come back and enjoy the content, because that's why I do this. But I did want to also say that no matter where you are in the world, I hope that you're having a fantastic day. I'm gonna see you right here in the next video.